to me, shouldn't even be in the top 10. I don't even know if that's even a hot take. I think maybe most people might be thinking that, especially since seeming the fact that we don't have Seth Rollins in the top 10. We don't have Jon Moxley in the top 10. To me, I believe that's criminal. But let's continue. But let's go ahead and get this list started, because every year PWI comes out with the top 500. It's a very big list. It's a very important list. Doesn't really mean too much when it comes to the mainstream professional, the mainstream companies, right? But I mean, I would assume it helps with like booking and getting more opportunities and stuff like that. With that being said, the dates for this are from July 1st, 2021 to July 30th of 2022. Before we get to this list, let me just stop and say, hit that like and that subscribe. Y'all already know, man. Hit that blue bell notification bullshit thingy too. So starting out with this list, we have Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is pretty much a given, right? Roman Reigns is a guy we knew was going to be 1 or 2. He's holding both titles right now, and he has since WrestleMania. So I'm not surprised on him being number 1. I assumed that he was either going to be number 1 or number 2. Number 2, you got Okada. We all know who Okada is. Okada, you don't have to watch New Japan Wrestling to know who Okada is and how important Okada is. He's only going to continue to get better as well. I mean, I think he's younger than me. So, I mean, he's got a long way to go, and he's already one of the best in the world. Now, here's where we have the problem. CM Punk at number 3. We're talking about the guy that came in and his first match was Darby Allin. Now, we all know the whole story about, again, we're only talking about CM Punk in the ring. So, look, if you want my references about CM Punk as a person or his professionalism, all other stuff, all the outside of the ring stuff, go to the other videos, which I will reference at some point. In the ring, CM Punk returns. Everybody was waiting for CM Punk. Everybody knew, okay, CM Punk is coming to AEW. We already knew what it was going to be. We already knew that it was going to be pretty much a world title tour, would you say? First match is against Darby Allin. Not mad at it. They had a pretty good match. Cool. Then CM Punk goes on to feud with Eddie Kingston and MJF. He had some pretty good matches with him. To be honest, other than the MJF match, the dog collar MJF match that they had, and other than the match that he had with Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship, the second one that they had, not the first 3-minute one, but the second one that they had all out. Other than those 2 matches, I wouldn't say any of his other matches were really bangers, and his return to the ring was pretty much a letdown, and that's not including the outside of the ring stuff. Just saying. So CM Punk to me shouldn't even be in the top 10. I don't even know if that's even a hot take. I think maybe most people might be thinking that, especially since seeming the fact that we don't have Seth Rollins in the top 10. We don't have Jon Moxley in the top 10. To me, I believe that's criminal. But let's continue. Number 4, Hangman Paige. I'm not mad at Hangman Paige being in the top 10. I'm not. However, number 4 is pretty damn high for Hangman Paige. I know that he was the AEW World Champion. He won the AEW World title last year. He lost it. He ended up losing it to CM Punk later on. Although he had a pretty lengthy run, I would say, it was more so I might catch some flack for this. It was an underwhelming AEW title run. That's just my own personal opinion. I think that Hangman Page's run as AEW World Champion was very underwhelming, and we all know he's going to get another AEW World title run eventually in the next few years. So, I mean, I'm hoping for the best for him. At the same time, I think 4 is just a little too high for Hangman Page. I'd probably put him at about maybe 9 or 10. At number 5, we have Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley is right where he needs to be in this list. He needed to be in the top 10. After having the year that he had. I mean, regardless of the way it happened, he ended up beating Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship at Royal Rumble. I mean, again, the way it happened was very shitty, and I thought was very crappy to do for someone like Bobby Lashley and someone like Brock Lesnar. The match that we all were hoping for, the match that we were all waiting for, and we've been asking for almost 2 decades at this point. And then we finally get it in 2022, and the finish was completely just fucking horrible. Now, with that being said, Lashley still continued to go on, have really good matches. He had a small little feud with Omos as well. But you got to remember, this guy's a 2-time WWE champion within the past 12 months. So I'm not mad at him being at number 5. He's right there where he needs to be. Not too high, not too low, still in the top 10. Perfect spot. Now, number 6, Cody Rhodes. This might be the one spot where I'm like, we cannot have Cody Rhodes in here. And I'm not talking about we can't have Cody Rhodes at number 6. No, we can't have Cody Rhodes in the top 10. There's no way in hell you're putting Cody Rhodes in the top 10 and you're leaving out Seth Rollins. You're leaving out Kevin Owens. You're leaving out Jon Moxley. You're leaving out Chris Jericho. What? So, look, I can't have Cody Rhodes in the top 10. Let alone number 6. Like, I mean, you could at least did us a favor and put him at 10, maybe 9 at best, and that's stretching it. It's absolutely ludicrous to put him at 6. Absolutely ludicrous. Now, number 7, you got Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson at number 7. I'm not mad at that. He's had one heck of a year. He's in the Blackpool Combat Club, along with Jon Moxley and I believe Claudio. So I mean, he's on a roll right now. I think his stock is only gonna rise. I think he is gonna be the next AEW World Champion once this tournament is over. So look, Bryan Danielson, I think this time next year is gonna be up there in the top 5. He's right there at number 7. So look, barring injury, of course, Bryan Danielson, I think he's in the right spot as well. Number 7 is good for him. El Hijo del Vikingo, I don't know who that is. I'm not going to act like I know who that is. I don't watch too much wrestling outside of WWE and AEW anymore. I might catch Impact and NWA here and there. NWA was actually really good. Just a little side note. NWA I should probably go back to because I was very obsessed with NWA just a few years ago, back in like 2018. It was like a very big year for me with NWA. I fell in love with that entire company, with that entire promotion. I should probably go back and watch that before I can refer it to you guys. But whatever. Number 9, Big E. Now, putting him over the guys that I have mentioned before, he had a big year. And I would say, aside from the year that he had that undefeated streak back in NXT and a little bit on the main roster as an Intercontinental, I think this was his biggest year. But we've known Big E as this tag team champion, multi-time, longest reigning tag team championship trio for years at this point. For, I guess I would say, the better part of a decade, up to this point, up to 2021, at least last year before he became WWE champion. But again, his best year so far as a solo competitor. So I'm gonna have to go with look, would I put him in the top 10? No. Am I mad at them putting him in the top 10? No. I think this is as successful as he's gonna get in his solo run. I think that he should probably go back to being a tag team guy unless they turn him heel. They turn him heel and build him up right and give us a pretty good story, give us a pretty good feud. We might have something there, and Big E could possibly be in the top 3 by this time next year. But they're gonna have to get it moving though, because it's already mid-September. Number 10, Jonathan Gresham. I'm not mad at this either, despite my video that I made about him whining, crying like a little baby just a couple months ago to old Tony Khan. Like I said in that video, I'll say it here again. Jonathan Gresham is one of the best in-ring technical wrestlers of today's time. He is amazing at what he does. He's very undersized, but very great competitor. Not very exciting on the mic, not very exciting on the camera, but when he gets in the ring and does what he does best, which is wrestle, I don't think there's anybody between Bryan Danielson, and probably Josh Alexander. I think between those three guys, I don't know if there's any more exciting technical wrestlers than these three guys. So, look, I'm definitely not mad at Jonathan Gresham being in the top 10. I'm happy he's in the top 10 because look, he's one of the longest reigning Ring of Honor world champions. And he's done some amazing things all around the world. If you guys don't know who Jonathan Gresham is, I suggest you guys go YouTube. I know he's kind of new to the mainstream wrestling world, but if you don't know who he is, YouTube this guy. You watch some of his matches. He's very, very good at what he does. So that's the top 10. Now, if I were to put some guys in the top 10, as I mentioned before, if I'm putting anybody in the top 10, I would have automatically assumed that Seth Rollins is going to be in the top 5. I automatically assumed that Jon Moxley was going to be in at least at number 6. But to have neither one of those guys in there, not even Jericho. I mean, look, I've yet to take a look at anybody past number 10. So these guys could very well be 11, 12, 13, or 15, whatever the fuck. But for right now, I'm kind of half and half when it comes to this whole top 10, man. I'm satisfied with the top 10, but there's definitely some changes that could really be made to this list, to the top 10 list. So if I'm putting anybody in the top 10, it's definitely going to be Seth Rollins. It's definitely going to be Jon Moxley. Definitely going to be Kevin Owens. And I'm taking out CM Punk, Cody Rhodes. I guess some people are going to be mad when I say this, but I guess El Hijo del Vikingo, just based on the fact I don't know who the fuck that is. So anyways, what do you guys think about this top 10 list? If you guys were to put somebody in there or take anybody out, let me know in the comments. Hit that like and that subscribe. It's your boy Corn, and it's Half-Ass Pod. And I am OUT.